Sabrina, are you able to talk, or do you want to introduce yourself in the chat? We can do that. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Work. I just can't promise I won't be booted off, as happened twice today. But I'm Sabrina Hosmer. I work in the public schools in Vernon, and it's our last week, so it's been wild. But I'm a speech language pathologist, and yeah, I just really think bring enthusiasm to the team.
How about Louis?
Hi, everyone. I'm Louis. I teach 7th grade math and science at the middle school in Mansfield. This is my 1-year anniversary on the board and on the committee. Very exciting. But I've been involved for probably 10 or so years. Yesterday was my 13-year anniversary with Parks and Rec, and they're heavily involved with the festival. So I've been doing the festival through that lens for a long time. I really enjoy the festival, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully weather as good as today when we have the festival this year.
I hope you take yourself out to celebrate this weekend. That's a lot of anniversaries to be celebrating this week.
I know.
And
I should just earmark an entire week in my calendar to celebrate.
Exactly. And I know we've met Magdalena a little bit. I'm Emily Wicks. I'm with the Ballard Institute Museum of Puppetry. I've been there for almost 10 years. I've been on this on the downtown board for 3 years, maybe. I don't even know anymore. Started during COVID. And I've been the chair of this committee probably for 2 years, I think. Should check on this. So thank you. Welcome. So moving on, we can review the minutes from May 9th in your packet. And once you have a minute to look at them, if there's a motion to approve. Great. Louis? Is there a second? Jocelyn? Wonderful. Any discussion? Comments, questions, concerns? No, all in favor? Wonderful. Okay. Love it. So then I think we want to dive into the 20th anniversary activities for the festival. The first one was the oral history project. I have reconnected with Heather to follow up on Christine's email to digital media and design. So I'm going to try to reach out and connect with her again now that the semester has wrapped and they had a big festival. So I'm hoping we can connect about that. I think from the discussion we had, it seems like Christine had a couple students who might be interested. And I think the question has been like, could they get class credit? Could they get paid? Like, how could we, make it so that they're benefiting as well somehow? And I think I'd like to propose to DMD that maybe someone could lead an independent study for the students who are doing that project. So the second one is the art project, and I'll hand that off. Magdalena?
Yeah, so I'm really excited to think of some ideas to incorporate more art into the festival. So I had a few ideas. One was I really like the idea of having a project that celebrates the festival, the 20th year, and opening that up for all ages. So I was thinking it would be really great to maybe do something where it's all uniform in size. It's like an 8x10 piece of paper. I was talking to Jocelyn, actually I emailed her about this. We could distribute it amongst, daycares or summer camps or something like that. And kids or anybody of all ages could really do a drawing or a collage, any kind of multimedia thing. And then we could display that in a window and kind of do like a quilt orientation. So we kind of do it side by side and do this one big piece. So I really thought that was a great idea. And then the other idea I had was I was actually an advisor for one of my students' art clubs at UConn, which has now renamed itself to UCreate. And so I checked with Alexa, who kind of heads that club. And I was thinking it'd be really great if we had a space for them to curate a small show during the festival. So, I still have to work on kind of the exact space for that, but I think it'd be really fun to have an art show where maybe you could do sculpture work as well as 2D pieces, and then also have that quilt window piece. So those are some thoughts. I don't know if anyone likes those thoughts or, or has any idea in terms of maybe making those better, but that was kind of where I was thinking.
I love those ideas. I think we had talked a little bit about this like drawing quilt idea. So it sounds like I think the way that you're taking it sounds great. I like the idea of like a uniform option for people to, you know, draw on or whatever. I think that sounds really fun. And then I love this art show idea. I think that's really interesting. Have you thought about spaces yet, or like how big you're thinking? Like at first I was kind of like, oh, the library at the Nash Transportation Center, or I mean, I think it would be cool. I don't know if, yeah, so I'm curious to hear what you were thinking space wise.
Yeah, so I think it really depends on, you know, whether I was thinking about the library as well. I was thinking of reaching out and seeing if they have anything going on during the festival, because I don't want to take up space if that's the situation. But I have talked to Cynthia a bit about possible storefront, you know, stores that are empty for us to kind of go in. And I'm meeting with the club next week, so I'm going to see kind of what their thoughts are on curating a show. Yeah, so it kind of depends on how many folks want to, you know, participate in the show as well.
That's what was my another question, I guess, for Cynthia and like the business or the, you know, the owners is like, could we do a pop-up art show just in one of the vacant spaces? That would be really cool. I mean, like we have a ton of pedestals at the museum. So if you knew like, oh, I'm going to have, you know, 5 sculptural pieces, like we could even probably like loan you some of those types of things so that you could just schlep them from BIMP over into that space, and then we could strike it at the end of the day or the next day or whatever. That could be really cool to activate a space like that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about, Magdalene and Kathleen and I talked a little bit about what possible spaces, and I need to sort of circle back again with the property owners, but I think, I can't remember, Magdalene, if it was you or Kathleen, but the former Amazon and former Bliss spaces are probably like a good size, and they're also cleaner than the restaurants, to be blunt. So those are some possibilities that, you know, if we did it, we could possibly, that also activates that area a little bit more, which, you know, I know we tried to do a little bit with some of the puppetry stuff maybe 2 years ago, Emily. I don't think it was last year, but that's a possibility as well. I think I will be following up with the property owner. I can
Great.
get in there. I can get in there. So I don't know about Amazon. I can get into the Bliss space.
I like the idea of recruiting, or maybe not recruiting, but offering the opportunity for camps to make like children having art. And our good contact, Noah Yilmaz, is the director of the Parks and Rec Camp Mansfield. So I'm sure we have an easy in to get some kids to create some art, to create the quilt effect and things like that. They have 8 weeks of camp, averaging about 150 kids a week. So I'm sure we could get a good amount of art if we propose that to them.
When does the first camp week start, Louis?
I think the 26th.
Of June?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can touch base with Noah and see. I'm sure would be interested.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I also have a document that has all of the phone numbers and emails associated with all of the childcare centers in Mansfield. So I could send that to you as well if you'd like.
Thank you.
Nelson, can you copy me on that too? Because that serves another purpose.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
what I usually do is just when we do the festival publicity in August, is also send a flyer to the daycares or childcare facilities. And so I just want to make sure I have the most up-to-date list. So that'd be great. So serve 2 purposes.
Yes, I can do that.
Great, thank you.
Amazing. So it feels like this 20th anniversary, activity is kind of starting to take shape with these 2 different routes, this oral history project and this art project. And I think they both seem really fun. So are there any other thoughts, ideas, suggestions, feedback for the art project? No? Okay. Well, let us know if we can help. If it's having people distribute flyers, or once we get like the set piece of paper, if there wants to be a few like places that are the place you can go to pick up your, the Ballard could be one if people want to stop in or drop them off. Like we can help think about logistics of how we want it to run. So next on the agenda is discussion of area captains and volunteers. So if you scroll down in your packet, there is a really nice list of the draft, and it's coming together.
It is. I in my mind, we're about halfway there, and
Okay.
At the last meeting, we assigned a few folks, so we've got Shamim, Area A. I think Christine she can't come till 11, but she told me, but I think that's okay, Emily. I think we can work with that.
Yeah.
And then I have Sabrina for you, Area C, and then Louis, Area D. So what I want to do is kind of do it a little bit like Denise did it with 2 shifts. So I have 4 other people I need to find. So if you have any suggestions, I can go back to a few of the older folks that did it in previous years, and I just haven't had a chance to do that. But, let me know now if you have other thoughts. And then for HQ, we had talked, Jocelyn, I think we talked about putting you there for some time. Rachel is confirmed, Emily. I talked to her at the annual meeting. I need to ask Diana. Mario, either Mario or maybe I think is it Maria that is at the branch and stores? I'm trying to remember, but I think there's some possibilities there. Sorry, I see a typo in the next part. So the entrance, I'm going to make sure that's Public Works, and then Kurt's confirmed. So I think that's generally covered as long as I get Public Works involved. So I think Emily, how many, just kind of going backwards, how many people did you have last time at HQ, and how many do you feel you need?
Last time, people came in shifts. It was usually
Right.
me and one other person, which I felt like was fine. I think there was I can't think of their names, a husband and wife duo. I feel like Rachel might have been there. I feel like it was 2 or 3 shifts.
Oh, the Fratonis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Fratonis. I need to ask them. They were at the
Yeah.
annual meeting. So thank you for reminding me of
Yeah.
that. So I'll ask Al and Kathy. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Do you have shifts for these, for the HQ right
I
now?
had it, I'm sorry, let me. I think it was in last month's packet, but I need to
Yeah, I think you're
go
right.
over it with Magdalena and make sure
Okay.
that shifts make sense, but let me just see if I can find it quickly.
Yeah, because this list for HQ seems pretty good. I feel like people did a couple hours at a time for shifts, and so I feel like it only changed maybe 3 times. So I think we'd have enough people for HQ. So I don't know if, depending on the schedule, if some of these people could become area captains if needed.
Well, that's true too, yeah. So we had area captains from 10 to 6. And then we had booth breakdown and cleanup from 5:45 to 9:30, and that's when other people came in. So let me do a little more searching, and if anybody has any ideas, because I do want to get that settled fairly quickly.
Come on, there has to be some other teachers that you can hassle. In Sabrina. They're on summer, well, no, they'll be back at school, never mind. Okay, let's all brainstorm who we can encourage to help us out. Because it actually is, it's fun. And you get some, do we get Subway this year? I don't want to make a promise.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you get Subway. Can eat fresh. while
Subway,
working.
and you get to put it on your resume.
You get a t-shirt. And the t-shirts were in high demand last festival, so.
Yes. So Kathleen has some ideas about that too, that we can talk about later, but I know we're
Okay.
looking at possibly selling them that you guys had talked about. So.
Yes. I think we should.
But yeah, let me know, and I just want to make sure, by mid-July at the latest, I really want to nail those down.
Was there any discussion specifically that we wanted to have about volunteers?
that's an area that we also need to work on, and I haven't
Yeah.
even really, we did one outreach, Kathleen did to UConn, but it's really kind of happens at the end, so.
Yeah.
We're kind of taking that, Sarah and Andrea did that some of that last year. But Magdalena, you and I will just have to work on that over the next couple of weeks, and maybe if you can look through some of the volunteer files and kind of get us started.
And people can like now, I mean, you can sign up on the website. So like
Did you have it
there,
up? Did Kathleen put it on the website?
yeah.
Okay,
So we could be like either encouraging people to sign up or like, I mean, I really like getting as many Yukon groups as possible.
Yeah.
And I do think, I mean, as I think we talked about kind of trying to get more finalized numbers from them versus just like, we don't know how many people are going to show up, because that was really a challenge.
yeah, definitely. And I know last year, I think there was a little thing where it was some of the spots were still left on the website that they were open when they were kind of done. So that was, so
Yeah.
I think we talked to Magdalena about that too. So we'll, between Magdalena and Kathleen and myself, we'll get working on that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do think the sign up last year really helped kind of stagger it throughout the day. I think the biggest thing that we all saw was maybe the nighttime needed more people, but that's harder to get people to get
It
volunteers
is,
to
it
sign
is.
up on a Saturday night, so.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so updates on budget and sponsors.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, and I'm gonna kind of, I know this is a little time consuming, but just so everybody knows like who's committed and, if you see them, this is one of the things that our board member Frank Gifford likes us to do, with donors, we see them, thank them. So our budget for this year is 23,625. We have a commitment of 17,800, but we also have a pretty healthy fund balance, so I'm not worried about the budget, I think we're in good shape. So, again, I'll just kind of quickly go through this. So we have 2,500, I'll just say who they are. So Barnes and Noble, Magdalena's done an application at Berkshire Bank, so we're waiting on them. Casella, which is the old Willie Waste, Chipperoni and Zaccaro. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not committed yet. TSCG, which is one of our property owners. Ops 44. Magdalena got a yes on her key bank application, so that's good because they used to be sponsors, and so now they're back in the fold, which is good. Laz Parking. M&T Charitable Foundation, the former Peoples. Mansfield OBGYN, Mansfield Orthodontics, which is a new one. NICABM. Grant Street Funding, which is another one of our property owners. We've done an application to Price Chopper. Renewal by Anderson. We've done an application, I shouldn't say we, Magdalena's done an application to the SBM Charitable Foundation. Oaks on the Square. UConn Foundation, Wilcox and Reynolds. And then we have some smaller ones. So I did want to ask Louis and Jocelyn if you have had a chance to call or contact any of your folks and whether you have any news to report.
A lot of the people I have not heard back from on my list. The one person I saw face to face was Anthony Radji from State Farm. And he seemed confused, saying that, oh, I already signed up for the booth. I was like, yeah, but we're looking for sponsors. And he's going to follow up and get back to me. And I think he's interested.
Okay.
I
Great.
think he likes the engagement side of it, and his business has really been growing. So I think he has a bit more flexibility.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
I also have not heard back from the four that I have reached out to, and I have not seen anyone in real time. So I will let you know though if I do hear back from anyone.
That's all we can do is ask.
Cynthia, are there any others that need following up with?
It just kind of depends, like, I'll follow up with, like, there's a couple that I specifically sent to that have sponsored in the past, so I can do that follow-up. I don't know that there's really anyone else. Some of the folks on this list have kind of been here for a while and they've never sponsored, so maybe like next year we can kind of nail this down a little bit more. But yeah, I think we're probably good where we are. So
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like we're on track this year compared to where we were last year around this time?
I do. Yeah.
Great. I mean, it sounds like you got a couple new ones, Magdalena. So congrats on those successful applications.
Yeah, she's done a great job.
That's awesome. Okay, so any other budget updates or anything like that?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay. So then staff update. How we doing?
Yeah, so
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have a few confirmed booths. We have 8 activity booths that are confirmed. We have 6 craft booth applications in. And then we have 3 food booths / tables that want to participate so far. So we have Hops 44, and they're going to do a food truck, which is really exciting. We have Yukon Food for Thought is going to also do a food truck, which is exciting as well. And then we have Maharaja Indian Restaurant that wants to do like a table or of some sort. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody, so we had talked maybe 2 meetings ago about doing a survey to the downtown restaurants to see if they want to participate. So the deadline was today at noon. So Kathleen, before she was gone for a couple of days, she'd heard from 2 people. So she sent it out again. So then that's where we need to, Emily, we may bring you into that, where we just need to see, are we going to go after more food trucks? Are we, what are we going to do as far as, whether we need more food or not?
Okay.
So, but Magdalena specifically reached out to the 4 that were here last year.
But the Hops is what is new, right?
Yeah, so after I heard that Nancy had a truck, I got in touch with her. So I guess it's the truck, the trailer and the truck. So we talked a little bit, Kathleen and Magdalena and me this morning about location. So I think we had talked briefly, this group, about possibly putting them on Wilbur Cross Way. But we may look at putting them in a place where something else is. So we got to figure out how big it is. So she was going to ask her son to measure, because if it's a trailer and a truck, it could be a substantially large space. So it's easier to have them in some ways all around the square because they're there to eat, because they're supposed to stay till 8. Some of them can't. So we got to kind of figure out the logistics, but I thought that was positive.
Yeah.
Definitely to have Nancy involved. So
No, that's really exciting.
yeah.
Wonderful.
What
Any
about
other?
Lizzie's, which is my #1 favorite food cart?
I love Lizzie too. So she was here a couple of years ago. And I don't think her experience was as great as she hoped. She didn't get as much business, I think. There were a lot of other vendors. We could ask her again, Louis, if you think that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen on her, I think it's on her Facebook, that she's been doing a lot more events, it feels like, recently.
Yeah.
And whether that's maybe more Yukon events, I can't tell. But this feels somewhat like a Yukon event, and we do get a good crowd.
I think especially if we end up wanting to go with more food trucks, it's nice to kind of include her, because she does
Yeah.
seem to be like the staple food truck on, the campus. So I don't know, Louis, you got a good in there with Lizzie?
I will solicit her.
Okay.
I might have to try some things out to make sure it's suitable.
Sure, yes, you can be the official taste tester.
Yeah. And so Louis, I'm just gonna send you something in the chat real quick about that. So, because I saw her on the street and I'll just send you something real quick.
Great, so what about entertainment updates? Anything on that front?
Yeah, so Kathleen is taking care of the bands. I know that Pete Haddad has confirmed with me that he is a definite for Magic. I think we've talked about that previously in these meetings. And then unfortunately, Johnny Walker is not available. So I think going forward, I think he's trying to slow down and ease his way out. So he's we'll have to kind of think of who to kind of fill that spot that he was, he was doing. So that's kind of the update from me.
Okay, wonderful. So are there any, this was a quick meeting. I feel like we're missing. Is there anything else that we need to check in about? Tell Louis wants to go home. You got 2
More of
days
the
left?
concert.
Oh, the concert, good, good.
No, we go till Tuesday, so.
Oh. That's a bummer. Okay, so any other updates or questions, concerns, thoughts? Okay, so on action items, I'm going to kind of follow up again with DMD about the oral history. And then I think there's a couple people who are following up with potential sponsors. And then we're all going to think about at least one person we can nominate to be an area captain. And we're going to send that name to Cynthia. You're going to tell them how fun it is. Okay, is there anything else that we need to add to our to-do list before our next meeting on July 11th? In July 11th, I will be in Italy, so I'm gonna have to miss that one. No, wait, I'll be back. I'll be back in Italy. I can be here. Never mind.
Are you sure?
Ignore me. Yes, I'll be back on the 10th.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I just wanted to say hi to Jess who joined us. Jess, did you have anything that you wanted to jump in on? There
Hey,
she is.
hi. Sorry. No, I was just listening. Blaze is definitely willing to bring our wheel whenever we can to whatever, events. And if you guys need help with, any kind of overseeing any areas or stuff, we can definitely help with that too. So just let us know what you need and we're there for you.
Great, excellent.
That's awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for including me on this.
Yeah, so I think if we don't have anything else, is there a motion to adjourn? Louis, you always like to. Is there a second? Hey, Jocelyn. Okay, so it was good seeing you all. So I will see you on July 11th at 5 p.m. on Zoom. So in the meantime, if you have any ideas or suggestions for area captains or anything else, just send me and Cynthia an email. Magdalena. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.